Hello, and welcome to our channel, where we explore the movie plots and reviews. Today, we are going to take a look at something a little bit old school, a movie called Children of Men. A 2006 sci-fi movie set in a dystopian future of 2027, where the world faces the unthinkable, a global infertility. In the movie, we learned that it has been 18 years since the last child was born, and humanity is facing an extinction. As the world turns into chaos, the United Kingdom is only one of the few to remain with a functional government, although it turned itself into a police state where they regulate and filter immigrants flooding into the country. The movie starts with the news reporting the death of the youngest man on Earth. He was killed by a knife attack over his refusal to sign an autograph. A rather trivial reason, but let's get a move on. As the news goes on, we get to see the face of our protagonist, Theo Faron, a former activist destroyed by the loss of his child during a flu pandemic back in 2008. Unfazed by the news, he grabs himself a cup of coffee and gets out of there. As he's adding something into his coffee, a sudden explosion occurred right in the coffee shop he went in. I think this is one of my favorite moments, and it gave me a pretty good first impression. The movie starts with a seemingly normal though dark and depressed tone of the people in the scene, and as Theo leaves the coffee shop, the camera pans around to see the grim atmosphere of London, and suddenly an explosion, a pretty eye-opening moment. After almost being blown to bits, Theo goes on to ask permit to live at his workplace and goes on to visit his friend, Jasper, a retired reporter now living with his wife in his secret hideout in the forest. Nothing much happened here, just some friendly chat and some joint. The next morning, however, as Theo walks out of his apartment, he gets kidnapped by a group of people, and turns out it is his ex-wife, Julia, who he hasn't met for 20 years after their child's passed, now working with the fishes. The reason that she brought him in is that they want to get travel documents for one of the immigrants, a girl, and one of Theo's relatives has that kind of access. Helping them will grant him £5,000, an offer he couldn't refuse. Theo goes on to persuade his cousin, a success, but the passport runs up to 2 people, which means Theo has to go with that person too, to which he meets up with the fishes and informs them. Luke, one of the Fishes members, gives him a secret code for a rendezvous. He meets up with Julia again through their code, talking about their past as they are on their way, and the two meet up again with Luke and the other 2 passengers, a young woman named Caine, the older one a nurse named Miriam. On the way to their safe house, Julian and Theo are having a rather strange yet funny moments. Not sure what the heck are they playing here, but they sure are enjoying themselves. Until suddenly, a burning car runs into the middle of the road and blocks their way. They are under attack. A group of people come out of the forest, throwing things to their car, and then there's 2 people riding a motorcycle, runs up to them and starts shooting. The bullet hit Julian in the neck, killing her right then and there. Theo manages to subdue the bikers, and the group get away. As they are escaping, they cross paths with a group of police cars. One of them makes a U-turn, chasing the group. The police catch up with them, though Luke quickly ends the interaction with the officers with bullets and rushes out of the scene, putting their identities in jeopardy. They reach the safe house with the fishes group up. After some cleanup, Key called Theo to meet her in private. She shows her belly and Theo sees the impossible. It turns out she has been pregnant for 8 months. She explains that she needs to get to the Tomorrow, a ship that will bring her to Human Project, which aims to eradicate the infertility. The fishes call them for a meeting and discuss their next moves. Theo suggests that they tell the world about Key, but all of them vehemently disagree. The reason is that they would take her child away and let black British women take care of the child instead, since the government doesn't sit well with the immigrants, apparently. Key agrees to stay with the fishes until the child is born. Later that night, 2 of the members return to the safe house injured, and Theo goes to investigate. He finds out that the assault was a setup by the fishes themselves, and it was a plan to take out Julian so they can make the baby stay and use him or her as a fuel for the uprising instead. Theo rushes to Miriam and Key to get them out. They escape to Jasper's hideout and explain the situation to him. He comes up with a plan to get through by making themselves arrested and let one of his dealers, a military personnel, to help them out. The next day, they are awoken by the alarm detecting an intruder. The fishes found them. Theo, Miriam and Key rush to the car as Jasper tells them who and where to go to. He decides to stay behind to buy their time, which ultimately costs his own life. They arrive at the location and wait for a while. This is where they meet Sid. He takes them to the refugee camp and tells them to find Marika. On the way, however, Key is going into labor. The water breaks. As they arrive at the camp, Miriam has to distract the soldier from suspecting Key's labor pain and gets pulled out. They meet up with Marika and get themselves a shelter. Theo helps Key with bearing her child, and finally, the first child in 18 years has born. Not long after, Sid comes to pick them up, and it turns out he knows about them and the bounty on their head. Theo fights him off, and Marika helps them escape. They meet up with one of the people who would take them to the ship, but gets caught in the process by the fishes. Key gets taken away by Luke and his peers, while some of his group stay to kill Theo off. But then the military comes to interfere. Theo and Marika manage to escape and split up. He follows the fishes into the building, and amidst the chaos of gunshots and people screaming and dying, he hears the crying of the baby, which leads him back to Key and Luke. Luke tries to stop Theo, but the gunfight keeps him distracted, to which Theo uses it as an escape. However, the baby hasn't stopped crying, and everyone in that building can hear her. And all of a sudden, things start to calm down. As they descend down the stairs, people see hope, a future of the mankind. Even the soldiers stop shooting and let them through. They go to the boat and arrive at the meeting place. Key finds out that Theo was shot. Now, what I think overall, this is one of the very interesting movies I have seen in a while. I know it's 14 years old, but as I said before, this movie is very eye-opening. It explores the aspect of the world without children and how the humanity responds to such crises. The movie also explores change in the environment and politics. As you can see, the diverse range of communities from different ethics roaming around the country. Even the government changes, treating the refugees like vermin. You can see the hopelessness in the people knowing that not too long they will all wilt and die, and no one will carry on their bloodline. And everything that humanity has done will all become the thing of the past. But what do you think of this movie? Did you like it? Comment below. And thank you for watching and stay tuned for more. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channel and see you again in the next video.